The mission today is to sharpen your swords and get you ready for battle. It's time to fine-tune your craft and make you the best in what you do. The mission is to equip you to help anyone purchase what they need. We'll share the best advice from the best in their industry. You'll be listening to a conversation you wish you had with the mentors you wish you had. Take what makes sense to you and makes you better in your career. You guys, Bruce Lee said it best.
Absorb what is useful and discard what is not.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Commission Mission. My name is Eric Gerace.
I'm Micah Henderson, and today I'm really happy to bring you guys Tony Schmaltz. He is a business and success coach, the world's best belief coach, and we're bringing him to you. Thank you so much for coming on, Tony.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be here.
We've had several great conversations, but I wanted to kind of zero in on the word belief, okay? Actually, it was Eric who first got me thinking about that word differently than the more superficial version of it, of just saying, I believe today is going to be a great day. That just what your thoughts are and your feelings on something, but a much deeper meaning of the word belief, and maybe even how you think about something subconsciously, and you may not even realize it's helping or most likely hurting you. Mm-hmm. But it was Eric that first brought that type of thinking about that word to me. But listening to a presentation that you had on Wednesday even drove that home even more about wanting to talk to you about that on the show.
Right. Well, to really start with, like we talked about the other day, is what you speak into your world. When you speak negativity into your world, you speak doubt into your world, it's really reinforcing maybe a negative belief that you might have about yourself. And so when we start changing that speech, pattern from a negative to a positive, we start believing more positive. And when we talk about belief, you talked about the superficial version versus what I'm getting at whatever it is that you want out of your life, what you want out of your life is to really believe it and believe it down deep into your core and really hold strong to that and see it like, even if it's something you don't have yet, see it like you already have it and feel it like you already have it and believe in that feeling, to where when you come out of that, you're like shocked that it's not there. It's that strong of a belief.
Yeah. And getting into really reinforcing your vision. And once again, kind of having two different definitions of a vision. We're not talking about, having a daydream and just, seeing something. Maybe you're on a hallucinogen having a vision. No, we're talking about having an idea of your life that's very intentional, and so much to the fact that the clearer that vision is, the more details that you put into your vision drives. It's all interconnected. It's connected to your beliefs. It's manifesting what you want in your life. Mm-hmm. It's all interconnected, really.
Right, and it's funny you bring up daydreaming, because we're taught as kids that daydreaming's bad. Oh, get back to reality. When in reality, it's one of the best things you can do, because to get into that vision that we're talking about and really feel the details, you got to have a good imagination. And so if you're not daydreaming, flow, let it happen, because it's really going to bring you back to that imagination that you need to really put yourself in that vision.
What a lot of entrepreneurs don't realize is you're creating all the time.
Yes.
And you're either doing it consciously or unconsciously.
Yes.
And if you want the results that you want, the goals, and to reach those goals, it's better to do it consciously.
It is.
It really is. If you can tap into this, because one of the first exercises I did around my limiting beliefs was we had to write out our life vision. And we wrote it as it was in the present tense. And now at the time I wrote this, I had eviction notes on my door. My bank account, I think, was like negative $500 at the time, as I'm sitting down writing about how amazing my life was. But I took it a step further and I recorded myself listening to it. And the reason I did that was the voice in my head is my voice. And it's the one that's always telling me, that's too hard. That's too much time. It's going to take too much work. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So I wanted to shut that guy up. And the only way I knew how to do it was to put my voice saying all these amazing things over
Were we
it.
talking about this? I feel like we were talking about this.
We were talking about this. That's why I love that.
Well, this and this, it was from an earlier conversation with Tony that sparked that, and he just talked about his vision, and so what's really powerful about this is I wrote this out around what my house looked like, what my jobs looked like, what my relationship with my kids looked like, what their rooms looked like, what their relationship with God looked like, and the foundation that I run, what that was doing, and how that was reacting, and I recorded myself reading that, and I put it to music, and I would change the music every now and then, but I listened to it every single day. And anytime something, when that other voice, the monkey voice I call it, was telling me what not to do, I would put it on, and it was only 5 to 7 minutes long. But what was amazing about it was I did that for about a year and a half, and then I just kind of put it away. And then I found myself in a situation where I felt like I had failed into it, and it was something that I was struggling on being okay with at the time, right? But a friend of mine came over and wanted to do some work together, and I said, and he was triggered. He was upset. I said, "Oh man, no, we can't create with you like this." And he got really mad, and I said, "So we either have to reschedule or let me help you with a breakthrough." And I shared my life vision with him. And so I pulled it out and I read it to him, and tears came to my eyes. Because one of the things on there that just really struck me was we talked about having a nanny, having someone that we loved and trust. And at the time I wrote it, my son didn't even talk yet. Mm-hmm. But he calls my mother-in-law nanny. And lives in our house. She's there anytime. So my wife and we don't ever have to worry about business or leaving to go do something because we have someone that we love and trust. But as I read this, I was like, oh my God, everything I'm experiencing right now was in this.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful tool to visualize. And then, like you said, to be grateful for and do it like it's happening now. That's, I think, the part that people miss a lot.
In the present tense. And so go much beyond just writing a vision statement, like a business will write a vision statement or a mission statement. Mm-hmm. But, what you guys are talking about here goes way beyond that. It's much deeper. So we were talking about what you really do for your clients, mm-hmm. and people that you're coaching. And even though we're starting off here talking about a much high level overview of more, concepts of, of belief and vision, you really do have a process that you will take your clients through to get more tangible results at the end.
Right.
And, if you just want to speak on that for just a second.
Well, one of the first things I do is exactly like you talked about. So one of the things I like to do with the clients first, right off the bat, is do what I call the 3-year look back, which is all about the vision. I say, okay, so let's pretend you and I haven't seen each other. Today's the last day we see each other. 3 years from now, I run into you in a restaurant and I'm like, holy moly, guys, I haven't seen you guys in 3 years. And you've hit every goal that you had possible in the next 3 years. What does your life look like now? Like it's actually happening right now, like you were talking about right in your vision, Eric. And most people don't actually take the time to write that out. And so I'll have them explain it to me first. And I'm like, cool, that's awesome. Now go write it down, like you said, and write it down in detail to where you can actually see it. What kind of car am I driving? What kind of house do I have? What are my kids' lives like? What am I like physically? Write it all out. So that's the very first start. And then on the heels of that, and I don't do this all in one session because that's people,
it's a lot.
They'd lose it. And then right on the heels of that, I come back to what we talked about earlier, and I go back to that wheel of life. Because even when people write out their vision, typically first try, they come out with just the financial part. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I want my big house, my fancy car, my big boat. They don't think about the other aspects, the relationship, the physical piece, everything else. So we come back to the wheel of life I was talking about where, okay, cool. Now I'd like to see you evaluate the top 7 areas of your life, personal, physical, mental, financial, career/business. And I'm still losing number 7, but there's 7 of them total. And then have them rate these things 1 to 10. And then we find out in a wheel, there's always a flat spot, mm-hmm. flat tire. And so then we put more effort towards that first before we really expand on the goals as a whole. So it's like, I don't even remember who said it, but you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been or where you're at.
Right. Like we use the same example. Like if you order a pizza and the delivery guy calls you up and says, hey, I'm lost. How do I get to your place? What's the first question you ask him?
Where are you at?
Where are you?
Yeah.
And unless you know exactly where you are, and a lot of people lie to themselves about where they are right now, or they just don't know.
Right.
And even we don't know what we don't know, And so to take a look at these aspects of your life is critical for the success of your business and growing it to reach the goals that you want for yourself.
Don't lie to yourself. It's the worst thing you can do.
Well, yeah, that's the other big piece about writing all this down. Because you can go through this exercise in your mind, but guess what? Your mind messes with you. So you can be telling yourself one thing today, and then tomorrow it's something different, or even 10 minutes from now it's something different. So it's real important that you write all this stuff down.
And that really helps.
It brings it into the reality. That's manifestation in and of itself, right there. Creation in and of itself. You're taking a thought and you're putting it down on paper. It's now real.
That's really what that's where I was going with that. Actually, is that's something to help somebody focus on and keep focus.
Yes.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. IRS takes your money, stock market risks your money, and inflation reduces the buying power. At Highland Finance, we believe you should feel confident in your future. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989.
And any other tricks of the trade, any other tips of how to keep focus? I gave that one example of, I forget where I heard it, but a guy said, I'm making $1 million this year. And what he did, because there's no $1 million bill, he took a $1 bill, added the zeros, taped it to his ceiling above his bed, so that every day when he woke up, that's the first thing he saw. He got him back on track, thinking of what he wanted to focus on. Just little tricks like that.
I do that with like wallpapers on my phone, desktop backgrounds.
Yep.
Create a collage of my vision board, basically.
Yeah.
So no matter, I'm always looking at my phone. Anytime a client calls, boom, that's an instant reminder of the goals I want.
I had a guy that I worked with back at a big company I worked at that he would do call sessions, but he had an actual landline phone, and he taped a picture of a house that he wanted on the phone. So when he got down to making those phone calls, and sometimes that phone gets heavy, and not literally heavy, it's just, man, I've been told
how many no's can you
so many times, starts getting heavy. But him focusing on I want to get that house for my family helped him get the strength to keep picking that up and smiling and dialing.
That's right. And it's funny you mentioned the dollar bill with the extra zeros, because I actually have, and I have my clients do the same thing. I've actually written myself a check for the dollar amount that I want, and it's post dated to the date that I plan on having this, and it's stuck right on my monitor where I see it every day. And
That's good.
And then there's like 3 checks. One that's for buying the house or the boat or the bank account. So that way, when that date comes, I can actually cash that check.
Yeah, no, that is good.
One of the things that we talked about at a little meeting earlier, and you said something really powerful, I just want to share this with the audience as well, was you talked about creating and reacting. What was...
So most people don't realize that the word create and the word react have the exact same letters, except create's got an extra E, which is for energy. Because you can't create without putting energy towards it. We're reacting, we all react to things all day long, but it's how we can create out of that reaction, or create instead of reacting. But you have to put that energy forth in order to make it create, or in order to create.
Yeah, and we were talking about...
That's gold right there, folks. That is real gold. If you dig behind that and look down deep in that, it's that can be a make or break in your business. If you spend your time just reacting to clients instead of creating the business that you want.
Yeah. But being... creating is being proactive, putting things out in the world, and instead of the inverse of that, we were talking about, life happening to you. You're not having everything happen to you. You are actively going out there and making it happen the way you want to.
Happening for you.
Happening for you. Thank you. And then the other thing was. Taking someone's victim card. So as a coach, whenever somebody is, blaming the whole world for their current situation, it's coming from a place of love, but you got to do it, whether it's your family or friends, or if, maybe an employee of yours. whenever they're going down that route, you just have to stop them right there and let them know, no, you have decisions that you can make in your life. So hand over the victim card so we can have a candid conversation about the situation that's bothering you so much.
And you're right. And I may not actually call them out on the victim card.
Well,
that's something I use when I'm talking to people. And and there's a chapter in my upcoming book about that. And there's and I do videos and stuff with talking about pulling someone's victim card. But if I'm talking to somebody, it all depends on the individual.
Well, in your relationship with them and,
and
how well you know.
Don't get me wrong. I'm basically saying the same thing, but maybe in a different,
roundabout.
Can you see yourself right now? Like if you're on a Zoom meeting, you can both see each other. Like, can you see yourself right now? Do you see the look on your face? Do you see how you're slouched over in your chair, or just you can pick up on those things. I'm like, hey, let's come back over here. Let's come back over here for a minute, and run them through an exercise. And a lot of times when people get in that victim mindset, I know it's a cheesy line for a movie, but we really do go to I help people go to their happy place. There is really that place. And when you are feel like that everything's against you and everything's piling up and you're not sure what to do and you're feeling victimized, best thing you can do is find that one place in your mind, and make it a real physical place that you've actually been to that makes you the most relaxed ever, wherever that is for you. For me, it's sitting on a boat, calm on the water, fishing line in the water, not a fish biting because that takes effort, but a fishing line in the water, just sitting there calm. And that is my happy, calm place. And I can just sit there and I put my mind there. Everything else goes away. So I try to bring people back to that. Hey, where's your happy place? Describe it to me. Close your eyes. Describe it to me. And then you see their posture change.
Kind of reset.
You see them come back to it, and you're like, okay, cool. Now let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's hard to have a proactive conversation and actually get something out of it when you're stuck in that funk.
You can't create when you're in reactive mode.
Right. And you used a good example too about the car accident.
Oh yeah. So one thing we were talking about earlier, and I love this, is I'm all about personal responsibility. And you mentioned having somebody with drive that's working. If you don't have the drive, then it's really not going to be worth our time to put that much effort towards it. And so part of having that drive is understanding what you have for what your personal responsibility, your choice, your personal choice. So the example I like to use is actually spawned from a Jim Rohn bit, but it actually happened to a friend of mine. He called me up and he says, "Hey, Tony, I was just in a car accident. Somebody rear-ended me, and they told me it wasn't my fault." And I said, "Yeah, it was." And he stopped and he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, this was your fault. This is your responsibility." He said, "How can this be my responsibility? I was stopped and he hit me from behind." I said, "Yeah, well, you made the decision to leave your house at that time. You made the decision to take that particular direction to work. You made the decision to stop at that stop sign. You made the decision." I mean, just on and on. And I gave him several examples, and he stops and he's like, "I never really thought about it that way." Like, I know most people don't. If you would have left 2 minutes earlier or 2 minutes later, you wouldn't have been there at that stop sign for that guy to hit you.
And even applying that to relationships with people that you have in your life, whether it is your spouse or your friend or employees. And I'm really getting this from you, Eric, that you teaching people how do you want to be treated, or allowing them how
you train people on how to treat you.
Yeah.
And by how you treat yourself.
So even though somebody is being a real jerk to you, well, at some point in the last couple of years of your meeting and developing a relationship with that somebody, you have made it okay to treat you in that sort of way. So if
we have a thermostat.
Yes.
Right? We have a thermostat, and that thermostat is in all areas, health, wealth, happiness, relationships, spiritual connection, whatever it is. And so, like, if I was to come and introduce you as the rudest person I've ever met in my life and just started really down, you'd be like, whoa, man, where's all this coming from, right? That's going to go below your thermostat. It's going to kick on, and but if I started introducing you as the wealthiest, most, and going above your beliefs of yourself, then you'll bring me back down. Whoa, no, I'm not. Most people do that.
I know.
And it's realizing that we do have this thermostat in every area of our lives, and when that's kicking on, and if we can use tools like Tony shares with people to make that thermostat range wider, or higher, then our beliefs won't be the limiting factor in the things that we do.
Right. And you made a very good point when you talked about how you feel about yourself. A lot of, this is one of those things that different coaches teach different ways. I like to teach them both. People talk about looking inward and other people talk about looking outward. I like to involve them both because you want that awareness of what's going around you and what other people are saying and doing and et cetera, the networking, the relationships. But it's like you said, Eric, if depending on how you feel about yourself is what's comes out and how people are going to think about you. If you think highly of yourself and you're able to reduce or eliminate that self-doubt or that negative self-talk, people are going to see it and they're going to speak highlier of you and really hold you to a higher regard. But if you're holding yourself to a regard that's much lower, they're not going to rise you. And back to your example now, they may even speak to you in a high regard. You bring them back down. You're like, that just,
I'm not all that.
But that's an immediate trigger to like, wow, what's this person really think of themselves?
But that's the training that we put people through. So then the next time that they go to talk about you, they go, oh, wait a minute, Eric's not this thing. He's this thing.
Let's take this concept and use it tangibly, okay? And it's easy to apply this to people we're meeting moving forward now that we're aware of this, right? Mm-hmm. But how would you correct a lifelong relationship? Let's just say somebody, not lifelong, you've known for a decade, and you're going back to saying, hey, somehow along the way, I've made it okay for you to treat me in this particular way that I'm not a fan of. How do you correct it so that moving forward you are, retraining somebody to either acknowledge you the way you want to be acknowledged or not treat you in a certain way? And again, we're applying this to everything. We're applying this to relationships, family, friends, work.
Well, it has to start with you.
Yeah.
Has to start with you because as soon as you start elevating that about yourself and that belief in yourself, we talk about belief. When you increase that positive belief in yourself and your self-worth, everybody else around you will start to bring it up. Now,
or they'll go away.
They'll go away.
Because you're giving them a choice to level up to your level. Because it's like energy, like magnets, right?
Yep.
So, and if you're up here, you can't be attracted to or in the same reality with someone that's down here until you do two things. One of two things happens. You either go down to their level or they come up to yours. And it's a lot of times, though, just as a little warning before this, when you make these changes with someone especially with someone that you've dealt a decade with,
they might resent you a little bit.
It's going to be your fault that you're going to be blamed for. Yeah,
what happened here? You used to be cool.
Yep, and so it is, and it depends. There's this triad, right? There's this hero, victim, and villain, right? And we're always one of the three usually in a relationship. And if you're heroing somebody, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, boy, I'm not going to be your hero. I don't see you as a victim. I see you as a powerful creator, and I'm going to help you step up. They hear blame, that it's their fault, and you go from hero to villain, right? And so, but you can step off that triad and just empower and build people up. So you can't use blame language. Fault is a real bad. It's not their fault or your fault or that, So there's ways to ease that change, but it's not going to be easy usually. This is a little word of warning. It's not going to
shift. Never going to be easy. Well, and it back to when you value yourself that much, then you're going to stop worrying about what those other people think, or at least a lot less. Even if it's family members. I mean, you're going to be like, you know what? This is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is my vision for myself. And like Eric was saying, you can get on board with that vision, or I can talk to you a lot less, if not at all. I don't like to say it this way, but I've got a couple of my family members back in Seattle that I rarely talk to because that is their entire world is negativity and self-doubt. And no matter how much you've had the conversation with them, they refuse to let go.
Might lead to an awkward conversation.
It has most of the time, but it's the same thing. I can't let that affect my world. I'm living a world where I'm living up here.
It's the pink polka dotted socks, right? So we use this analogy, like if someone was to come to me and say, oh my God, Eric, those are the ugliest pink polka dotted socks I've ever seen in my life. Well, I wear flip-flops, I don't have socks on. I'm not going to be all offended and upset about someone. But if I was wearing pink polka dotted socks and someone told me that, it's the belief that I have about that thing in myself that offends me. Only if I believe it. But so if someone's calling me anything to put me down, to build me up, whatever it is. If I believe that thing, then I could be triggered by what they say.
You don't believe that you're having the pink polka dot socks, so it really doesn't affect
Doesn't matter,
you,
right? It's like, what? Okay, whoo, that guy's crazy. You know, he thinks I have socks on, whatever. But it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bring my energy down.
Yeah.
But if I did, I've got a pair of pink polka dot socks back at the house. Oh my God, I'm never wearing those things again.
Right, right.
That's that belief, you know. And it's what we believe about ourselves. Oh, the only thing that really, not the only, but most of the thing that causes us to be triggered or upset about something is the belief that we have in ourselves about that. Right. So if someone's calling me one of my big breakthroughs was being a bad dad. That was a button that you could push. If you made me feel like I was being a bad father, whew, you could get me to do anything. But the reason when I let go of that and said, you know what, I believed that I was a good dad, no matter what anybody else said, no matter what my finances were, no matter I knew I had a great relationship with my kids. Now you can't affect me on that.
That's right. That's right. And I love your pink polka dotted sock example because one of the things about instilling or growing that belief is getting out of our comfort zone, getting out of the programming. We've been programmed since childhood to think and be a certain way, and it's relearning to be a different way or the way we want to be. So with some of my clients, all my clients, I have what I call Schmaltz tasks. These are literally designed to get you out of your comfort zone, but in a healthy way, not to jump in front of a car or something like that, but like use the pink polka dot sock example. One of them I use is go into work, go into the grocery store, go into something with the loudest possible shirt you have, bright pink, fluorescent, the most uncomfortable, the better. And yeah, everybody's going to stare at you. Perfect. Because you got to walk in and not care. Yeah. And you're going to, but as you start to go through your grocery list by the halfway through it,
I love that.
You're not
That's
even
awesome.
going to notice it. You're not even going to notice it.
So,
well, I love to remind people too, is that everything that you want that you don't have right now, guess where that resides? Outside of your comfort zone. Because you're in your comfort zone right now. That's the things that you have inside your comfort zone. If you want something bigger than what you have right now, you got to get used to being uncomfortable.
It's right on the other side of fear.
You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And the more you get comfortable being uncomfortable, the less uncomfortable you feel.
That's right.
That's awesome training that you do. That's fantastic. I like that.
So as you're training your clients, as you're being this coach, I would like to point out that you yourself have coaches. And that's something that I've thought about in my life, that I have mentors, but that's different than what we're talking about, having a coach. What's the difference? What benefit do you still get after as far as you've come?
Okay, so one thing I 100% believe everybody needs a coach, one way, shape, or form. And it doesn't matter if it's a life coach, a mindset coach, something that's going to fit, some coach that's going to fit your vision and what you're trying to do. Now, the difference that a lot of people don't get is most mentors are those that are someone that's in your organization or field, somebody who has something to gain from your gain. Whereas my recommendation to anybody is find a coach that is completely independent. Now, this may be somebody recommended to you by somebody in your industry, but find somebody who's independent of any sort of gain from your gain.
As your commission goes up, they're not connected.
They're unaffected. Their fees, flat fee, whatever it is, or even if there's a fee, et cetera, but they have no gain to gain from your gain other than what it makes them feel, how it makes them feel, and that's one of the things I love. I love seeing the breakthroughs on my clients, or even just an aha moment where you're sitting there and all of a sudden a light bulb goes off and you're like, oh, thank God.
You got it. You got it.
That's some of the greatest feeling in the world as a coach. So yes, I believe everyone should have a coach, but make it independent to what you do.
So yeah, no matter what level you are on, how much success that you've had in whatever area of industry that you are, still need a coach. Still get it to keep pushing you to get better and better at what you do every day.
You could
look at Michael Jordan. Look at Kobe Bryant. Look at, we can just name LeBron James. They have coaches, and like Michael Jordan, he practiced free throws and like the fundamentals over and over and over again. And until you can have a grasp on those things all the time, you can't be a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant.
And you use the sports example. I don't know a single CEO that doesn't have an external coach. I don't know a single millionaire that doesn't have an external coach. Now, granted, there may be some, but they're exceptions. One of the guys that I know personally, he's known as the ultimate coach. he literally is the coach for several CEOs. He was, I don't know if you know who Ian
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Ian Levancant is. She's like known as one of the top life coaches. She's had a show on Oprah's network for like 12 years, and he's coached her for all of that 12 years and some. And this is the type of guy who's so into just helping those people. He actually turned down the opportunity to be on the Oprah show. He's like, nope, that's not what I'm about. I feel good when those guys do good. I don't need my name out there in the world. And he's phenomenal at it. And, you know, Clayton Mask, CEO of Infusionsoft, Keep, another one of his clients. It's just everybody like I said, every millionaire I know has a coach. It's part of life.
And there's a ton of value in coaches. Get you one. But before we leave, you mentioned your book. And I also wanted to ask you about that and how people can find you when they need a coach. And I happen to know a great one. So, so talk to me all about it.
Well, first, the best way to find me is either follow me on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel.
You might want to spell your last name for him, Schmaltz.
So when you go, or if you go to my website, it's literally TonySchmaltz.com, TonySchmaltz.com. And the book will be coming out here in the next 2 to 3 months. I don't have an exact release date yet. It's called Upgrade You. And for those that know, we're running a big speaking event here in Panama City Beach in September. So the book release will be prior to that because that'll be a giveaway at that event.
What are the dates for your event in September for Panama City?
Okay, so the Panama City Beach event is September 17th and 18th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. And if you want to get more information, go to upgradeyourlifetour.com. And you get all the information on all the speakers, ticket sales.
Highly recommend. It's some amazing speakers, amazing lineup that he's got for this event. And you get the world's most beautiful beaches with the world's best
belief coach.
Right.
All right. Well, everybody, you heard it here. Go check it out. Find Tony Schmaltz. Thanks for coming out and checking us out in the Commission Mission. Everybody, I got a lot out of that. I hope everybody here got a lot out of that. I really want to go and write out my own mission statement, really get into detail, writing out a vision, because that's something I never have. It is something in my head, but you want it, the sharper the better. The more that you can envision it, the more it's going to benefit you as a tool, and keep revisiting it. And as your life changes, some different aspects of it may change, revisit that vision statement. But that's something that I really have never done. And
and the wheel of life, I love that, because it's like spokes on a tire, and so if we have one area of our life that's off, you imagine what it's like to ride a bike with a flat spot on a tire. That's kind of what our life does. And then creating and reacting, that was gold. I'm taking that.
I normally have that sort of moment every episode, but you definitely have that one. But certain reoccurring subjects that will come up, and the wheel is one of them, and having several different aspects of your life, and you don't want one being completely broken.
No, because how we do one thing is how we do everything, and it might mask itself. You might be able to cover up because you got a big bank account or something like that, but there's still some limiting beliefs in there if another area of your life isn't. But another reoccurring subject that always pops up that I always think about doing and never have gotten around to doing is getting a coach. I've never had a coach. I've had some okay managers. I've had some great mentors. I've never had a coach, and that's a reoccurring theme with a lot of very successful guests. And I've had some coaches, and just a little reminder, a coach isn't your best friend. A coach isn't someone that's going to always just tell you how great you are. A coach is probably going to be the person that you love to hate the most, they're going to challenge you. They're going to, I loved his Schmaltzy task of making you operate outside your comfort zone, because that's the kind of coach that you want. You want that coach that's going to push you outside of that comfort zone, because everything that you want that you don't have now exists out there.
It's on the other side of fear.
Yep.
Get you a coach. Find a good one. Find Tony Schmaltz. Find him online. Check out his book. Check out this event. And there's no way you can regret it, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sitting here with us, everybody. We'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this episode of the Commission Mission. I hope you got a lot out of it. We need you guys to like, follow, subscribe, whatever that action is for the platform that you're watching it on. And please leave a review. That's a great way of giving us a compliment.
And if you're listening to this show and you're interested in working with a great team in either the financial industry or real estate, Mike and I have opportunities available for people to join our team. You can find us at livingthatcommissionlife.com and go to the Join Us tab.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. The profit your business brings in should go to you, not accidents, injuries, and hurricanes. Do a policy review on your general liability and workers' comp today. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989. Highland Finance.